So let's talk about spring training a little bit. Sunday's spring training game between the Cubs and the Royals lasted a grand total of 1 hour, 57 minutes. The final score was 5-0. Did you notice, Brad, did they play all 9?
That's what I'm looking. I think that they did because I mean, there's no reason for them to shorten that game.
Right.
It didn't
But
it didn't
sometimes
rain
on
around here
Sundays,
yesterday.
they'll go 7, especially if it's kind of a doubleheader or something like that. But
Yeah,
let's
no,
assume it went all 9.
all 9.
Oh, it
The
did?
Royals got 5 hits, so they were not no hit. The Cubs got 5 hits. All 5 runs were scored off of 3 home runs. So there was a solo home run and 2 2-run homers. So it's
Wow.
not like there was a whole lot of hitting going on in that game. But my big thing, like, that's a ripoff. Any game that's under 2 hours is too fast. I mean, I know you got 5 runs out of the deal, but still, is that too much on the pitch clock, or is it just Sunday afternoon baseball and things were just moving?
See, I don't, so I didn't watch it, so I don't know if we can blame the pitch clock. Obviously, the pitch clock has something to do with it.
Right.
My argument is what would this game, let's say everything stays the same, but we remove the pitch clock. The only thing that would change are adding boring to it.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm like, we're going to see time stacked up with adjusting batting gloves and, prancing around the mound when you just can't get your head right because just got shelled or whatever, like maybe a couple extra mound visits. That's the only thing that would have added time to this equation.
Yeah, that's true. Nothing exciting necessarily would have.
I don't think so.
But like going to a game, do you feel like you would
Mm-hmm.
be ripped off at a game that was under 2 hours?
Yeah. I think that calling an hour 57 under 2 hours is splitting hairs.
Yeah.
Personally, I think it's a little bit, I mean, you're right. It's under 2 hours. Let's be super clear. But at the
But
same time,
it's like reaching the limit of infinity, right?
yeah.
You just throw it in the towel, like, yeah, it's a 2 hour game.
Yeah. So I'm saying this is a full length feature film. It's still not a ripoff. Tickets are a little bit more than you would pay to go to the cinema.
Not much these days, though. That's a great
Right.
point, though. That yeah, it's basically like going to a movie. So after
I'm
2
just
hours in a
saying
movie, you'd be like, yeah, that's cool. And I did
that's
pay
good.
$50 for popcorn and a drink. So
See? So
there you
there
go.
you go. I'm not saying it's a ripoff. If it drops much more than that, then yeah.
Hour and a half games, that'd be way too short.
Hour and a half game is bad. That's
Yeah,
bad news.
yeah.
But between 2 hours and 3 hours, what are you going to take? What do you have?
I'd honestly at the ballpark, I'd spend 3 hours at a ballpark, no problem.
Yeah, me
But
too.
the difference though is on TV. The difference I think is where it comes on TV because there's obviously way more people watching games on TV than there
Yeah.
are in the stadiums. And I think people on TV would rather have a 2 hour game than a 3 hour game because
Yeah.
you can get on with the rest of your night. You can go to bed early in your case, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's a huge.
And yeah, and like for me, like get kids to bed and then I could still have some of my night. You know,
Yeah.
it's not game's over, go to bed. So
Mine's like go to bed. Well, I should go to bed.
yeah,
The
pretty
season
much.
kills me on my sleep schedule. Like it just murders my sleep schedule because I'm on the East Coast. But yeah, I think that's a good point. Something to watch out for is the time limit on these games. It's going to be something we'll bring up a lot because it's not going to go away, especially this season. So stay tuned for more on that. But baseball
I
family,
will
tell us
say
what you think.
I was going to say I have some input from Denise who does the North Chicago podcast.
Mhm.
She's a Cubs season ticket holder, and she said if every game was 2 hours, she would get rid of her season tickets.
Because it's too fast.
It's too fast because it takes her an hour to get to the stadium anyway.
Right.
So it's an hour there, hour and back. She's like, I'm not gonna spend the same amount of travel time as I am at the game. She's like, I want to be there for 3 hours.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's how I
So
feel if I go. I want the whole thing.
yeah, yeah. So I think that will be something that you might see though is that people will be less likely to buy season tickets because it's like I don't want to travel for a 2 hour game. So
Yeah, because it's 2 hours to Atlanta for me.
yeah,
So if I'm going down to Atlanta, I plan to spend the night anyway. And so there's an additional cost associated. I might not spend the night if the game was 2 hours. Because then I'm just leaving town at 9:30.
yeah, yeah.
It's not bad. I could be home by 11.
Right. 2.5 hour game though, I feel like is still you don't need to spend the night. And I feel like a two and a
Yeah,
half hour
no,
game is good.
depends on the game. Yeah, totally.